Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's shop update time. So, been working a lot more hours here lately. This weekend we went ahead and went down to Lassiter Mountain. Should be my last race of the year, but we will see. That may change with a whole lot of money over there. We're gonna see if I can make it this weekend and see if Lassiter's gonna be open. If they are, we're gonna try and go fast. But in any case, let's run through what we got here and get you all up to date. Out of money is, of course, on the dyno. I have half the fuel system here. I need one line, 4 adapters. And I can go ahead and put the fuel system on and dyno. Once it's dynoed, go ahead and throw the fairings back on it, wipe it down, make it pretty, and we're gonna go to the track. And I was aiming at the sky. All right, so that's what we got going on there. I still need to find a 17-2 sprocket. I'm pretty sure Brian at Sky Cycles has got one. I'm just dreading the ride all the way to Decatur. Let's see, Brett's bike. Did come in and do a bunch of work on this girl. So, we knocked out most of the list. I have a hob switch on the way. I ordered the wrong one. Airlines, I need to check that off. I got that done today. Clutch push rod is on the way, be here this week. 1/8 MPT 90 is on the way with the fuel system parts for the other bike. That is for the fuel pressure sensor. I need to turn it 90 degrees to get good clearance. The bottle bracket bolts, those will be here Friday. And the air shifter plug, I'm waiting for Greg to send me one because I lost it. Not gonna lie, I lost it. It is what it is at that point. It's just a little connector identical to this. So, once I got that, we're on the dyno. It holds air. The boost control works. All the sensors except for fuel pressure are reading. I've done all my pre-dyno checks. We're ready. See, storage, all these are storage, da-da-da-da-da. You don't need many updates on that. The little Yamaha, this is probably going to be up for sale. Nichols is realizing that these are expensive to fix. He's going to fix it once, but his kids are rough on stuff, so rather than giving it to them, he's going to get them probably a bigger Honda, because they're cheaper, you can use clone parts, and he'll probably be selling that little TTR 90. It did tink a valve, so it's going to get a timing set, valves, valve job, new gaskets, and it should be good to go. This girl, the crank, should be back in the next 4 or 5 weeks, and then we'll start getting parts together for him to assemble his motor. He has started doing the rough cleaning. So everything outside of the bin over here has been rough cleaned. Basically, my solvent tank's full of number 2 diesel fuel. Rinse it all off, pull all the oil plugs, flow diesel through them all, and then we'll hit it with a degreaser, dry them, and I think he's going to send those out for vapor blasting. But he's going through and figuring out what all he's got, organizing, and we're going to get that squared away. We got a package for Tulip came in. We're waiting for a couple more packages. Let's see, hams, we're waiting for a piston. So the tick in that turned out to be a wrist pin. Okay, so one of the wrist pins had spat a clip. Not sure how it did that, but again, not one of my builds. But when I pulled the other wrist pin snap ring out, it was really fatigued. Like there's no spring tension to these things, so they deform. They've lost all their temper. So we're just going to replace that piston, replace all the lock clips, and put it back together. That was the tick we heard. No major damage done. It did not hit the cylinder wall. It just slid out enough to disengage from one side of the piston and wallered the crap out of the other side of the piston. So, got with CP getting that on the way. Today we are starting on Jimmy's. This is going to be the first time I'm going to edit a video in a hot minute. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what I'm talking about when I say this thing is a nightmare. I was paid to do the bare minimums, hooking up the nitrous and such with the max that was there. He hadn't seen my work, hadn't gotten to know me yet. So he just wanted the minimums done. It was like a $300 bill for 2 hours of wiring shit. This time, I get to do this right. So this had one of my original dashes. I've finally got the carbon in there and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull the bodywork, and we'll jump back right now. All right, guys, and poof, like that, it's naked. Gotta love race bikes. In any case, this bike's had a horrendous sound, and he said it was just a bent exhaust. Jimmy. That'll do it. That'll do it. Also, Jimmy has had an airbox blow on him before, so he does set up a spring relief valve. I don't do that, but there is no downside to that. So it'll stay. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Where are we going to start? This thing is the biggest pile of spaghetti I've ever seen in my life. It is. It always has been. So we got an ignition switch that does nothing. That's going. That's weight. Probably going to get him into my upper triple and my clip-ons just to get rid of that shit. We'll see. Probably leave it. I don't know. It's up to him. He wants to do some weight reduction. We'll do some weight reduction. He did the bulk of this wiring, so we got some decently retained with heat shrink, but then we get up here and we got butt connectors, so that's all going. That's all gone. Fuel system. I don't really want to screw with his fuel system too much, but we'll see what we can do. I might change out a couple fittings to make it a little nicer, because he's already got some of the good fittings. But we'll see. See what we're gonna do there. Kind of want to put an internal relief valve and everything back in it, because it doesn't need it. It's got an in-tank pump. Pretty sure it's got an in-tank pump. I'm 90% sure this is still an in-tank pump. Nope, it's external. Wherever the hell he's got it stuffed. I'll find it. I always do. In any case, this is all an MPS unterminated harness, so you got 45 pounds of shit stuffed in here everywhere, including a bunch of shit we don't use, right? So, like, this entire harness, unused, except for one wire. So I will depin that whole freaking harness and just pin that one wire to the ECU. Make life a lot easier. Or put a single connector on it, single pin connector. EGTs, this bike doesn't use EGTs. So we're gonna take those off, unless he wants to add them, in which case I probably can add them. It's a titanium header. I'll have to get some titanium bungs, but I can add them. Another question for him. The pressure sensor for the nitrous, he left it hanging quite a few times. So these pins are yanked back out of here. All this got yanked back. So I'm going to try and move that up to right by the solenoid. So he's got a single solenoid down there, and then it spiders up. So I'm going to try and tidy that up as well. There's a lot of tidying up and cleaning up to do, if you can't tell. Power distribution, not the greatest. It's just rough. Oh, there's a fuel pump. It's got a Warbro 255 in the back. We can flow all that with an AEM 51200. They flow the same. Might talk to him about that. But anyway, we're nowhere near maxing out the injectors on this thing. It's got a bunch of dope on it. But it is the smallest displacement big nitrous bike I have ever seen in my freaking life. For what it does, it's damn impressive. So it is a little bitty baby motor. It's not even a stroker, guys. Stock stroke. So that's what we got. That's where we're at. I can't talk times on this, but it is fun. It is fast. And it's going on a diet. Big diet. I'm willing to bet I can pull 10 pounds at least out of this thing. At least 10 pounds. Easy. See if we can't get more. But that's what we got going on. I'm going to go ahead and start gutting this. Y'all have a beautiful evening.